Hey guys, this is Joe from Analog Archive, back with another video. The video today is going to be the finds for the month of January. Been a pretty light month when it comes to, or when it came to pickups. Most of the stuff was online, just like it's been, I think, the last few months. A lot of this free jazz stuff, especially the European stuff, is tough to find at stores. So had to resort to Discogs for a lot of this stuff, but was very pleased with what I was able to grab for the month. So we'll get started. Continuing what I've been doing the last few months, picking up more Peter Brötzmann stuff. Everything I grabbed this month were new albums that have come out. Two of them have come out in the last 2 or 3 years, and then there's one that came out about 20 years ago, but none of them are kind of like vintage albums. This is the only record I've picked up from a store this month. This is Historic Music Past Tense Future. This is a trio, Peter Brötzmann on the reeds, so saxophone. I think he also plays the clarinet as well on this. Milford Graves, drums, vocals, dancing, and then William Parker on the bass and the Deuce and Goonie. Great 2 LP live album from 2002, recorded in New York City, and came out on the Black Editions Archive label. This was the first release that they put out in 2022. And the second release, they've only had 2 albums, but the second release is the Milford Graves album, Children of the Forest, one that was very popular among a lot of the VC people last year. But this is great fidelity, great playing all around by the 3 musicians. I'm pretty sure the 3 of them worked at some point with Chicago Tentet, Peter Brötzmann's group. So a great one there, again, dating back to 2002. This one actually just came in the mail today from Dusty Groove out in Chicago. This one's been on my radar for a bit, but I was hoping to find it in locally in Rochester, but never really was able to come across it. And actually, when I did buy it last weekend, it was shortly after sold out. I don't know if they only had a copy or 2. They may have only had 1 copy because it seemed like the next day, the day after, it was sold out. But this is Jazz in Der Kammer, number 71. This is a live recording from November 1974, which is what kind of drew me in. A lot of these new albums that are coming out, that are Peter Brötzmann related, are albums that he recorded in the last 5 to 10 years. So it was great to see. This is Trost Records, Trost Records out of Austria, put this out I think it's 2022. But yeah, live recording from 74. The classic trio that Peter Brötzmann had in the 70s. Him on saxophone. He plays just alto and tenor on this, so there's no Terregato or clarinet or anything like that. Fred Van Hoof piano and Han Bennick on the drums. Streamed this one before. Really great, real high energy one. So really just feels like a later FMP release. So this one just never really came out at the time. So, and then the last Peter Brötzmann one that I picked up was the Atlanta concert. Peter Brötzmann kind of trio. This one's a tough one to find of the Okadisc releases. This one, he's on A-flat clarinet, Terregato, tenor sax. Fred Hopkins is on bass, and Hamid Drake is on the drums. These guys, this is from July of 1998. This is around the time that Peter Brötzmann put together the Chicago Tentet that included Fred Hopkins on the bass and Hamid Drake on the drums. And again, Milford Graves sometimes appeared on the drums in some of the later sessions, but this one, as I said, is a tough one to find. I've been looking for this one for a while. Tried to buy it actually on the Okadisc website, and shortly after, I got a notification of a refund from PayPal, which kind of made sense. This came out in 2001. Again, tougher one to find. This is like $50 to $75 at least. This was actually the cheapest copy on Discogs. This was sealed, and it was 75 or 70. I think it was 70. So this one's more expensive one compared to the other ones that have come out. So, but yeah, really happy with this one. Really like the cover kind of colors and the design of that, and it kind of continues on the back as well. So that was a cool one. Again, early Chicago 10-tet style type stuff, even though it is just a trio, but really happy to grab that from Discogs. Last three are the big ones for the month, starting with this one. In terms of what I've heard this year, and also just free jazz in general, since I started kind of listening to that in the last like year and a half, this is one of my favorite releases that I've heard. I just listened to this one actually yesterday. This is Noah Howard Patterns. This is the original pressing from the US from 73 on the Alt Sax label. So I'm not sure if that was Noah Howard's label. I don't think there was many releases anyways on this label, but there was a second pressing from 76 that was from France that had a completely different color, more colorful type cover. Both of them are really extremely hard to find. Lucked out that HR Records in DC held an auction earlier in January, and this was one of the records they put up. I don't know if it was a price issue in terms of why this hadn't been picked up, because it had been sitting in the shop for like a month and a half. I actually remember seeing the Instagram post back in like late November, early December. So, I mean, it was sitting there for 5-6 weeks at least. Again, I don't know if it was a price thing. The record looked VG, so maybe kind of combination of the price with the condition. People were turned off from that. I don't know, but record played almost near mint, so very happy. I got a discount on this as well because they were looking to kind of offload some of the stuff from the wall that they had for a bit. So thank you to them. Really have always been pleased with their shipping, packaging, everything like that, the kind of condition, the communication, everything like that. So this was a huge one for the collection. Again, Noah Howard Patterns. This is a live album from 71 in Holland. Features him, alto sax, bells, tambourine, timpani. Earl Freeman is on bass. Big name, Han Benick is on the percussion. That was a nice surprise. I actually didn't even realize that until after I listened to it, that it featured him on percussion. Misha Mengelberg is another big name on the piano. Steve Boston, conga, and I don't know if it's Jaap Schoenhoven is on the electric guitar. Prominently features him on alto sax, Han Benick on percussion, and then Earl Freeman you can kind of hear on the bass. He doesn't have any real like prominent solos where it's just him, but there are times where you can really hear the bass. Really great playing there. And then Misha Mengelberg on piano. It really makes sense. These great free jazz musicians are on this. The sound, you can just really hear that tone that they have. And it really makes sense, especially for Han Benick. The percussion is very explosive, very loud, so it makes sense that it's him. So this is a great one. One track, both sides. 37 minutes. I figured it was about 22 minutes of the 37 was just Noah Howard on the sax. So really great one. Again, probably biggest find for the month, more than likely. We got one more that might be about the same. It's another big one. This I guess I actually could have grouped in with the Peter Brotzman stuff, but this is 3 Points in a Mountain trio. Peter Brotzman is on this one. He plays alto, tenor sax, E-flat clarinet, A-flat clarinet, bass clarinet. Misha Mengelberg piano, voice. Han Benick is on the drums, tenor sax, clarinet, etc. Really great one. This was high on the want list when it came to FMP. Peter Brotzman. This is from 1979. Overall sounds pretty good. There's a mark that's on kind of the maybe midpoint of both the first track on the A side and the first track on the B side. I don't know if it was like a packing issue that when it was shipped, I noticed that when it arrived, that the inner sleeve that was used was one of those real cheap, like circular inner sleeves, and I think it got like pushed down when it was packed into the actual kind of cardboard packaging, and it might have just gotten bumped because the mark is on pretty much the same point on both sides. So that's really the only thing I can think of. Other than that, the record plays great. So very happy with this. Got a really good price for it, so I can't really complain about that. This one's a tough one, so that was a great one that I found this month. And then finally, probably the biggest one, one of my favorite, again, up there with the Noah Howard Patterns one of my favorite free jazz ones, especially out of Europe, and that is the new Acoustic Swing Duo. This is William Breuker. I think it's Breuker. He's on soprano, alto, tenor, sax, E-flat clarinet, bass clarinet, and then Han Bennett plays assorted percussion. You can see on the back how many percussion instruments and kind of assorted that he plays. This is a great one. This is the first record on the ICP label out of the Netherlands, Instant Composers Pool label, that was put together by Han Bennett and Misha Mingelberg. Similar to FMP, I found, this is the only record I have. I actually have another one that I just bought that should be coming hopefully in the next week or two, that's on ICP as well. I found that these records very similar sound to the stuff that's on FMP, but I would say more scarce and more expensive. If you find these in stores, you're very lucky. Tough to find probably in the US anywhere, unless you live in a big city or you know somebody. But this one I got a great price for out of a seller in Japan on Discogs. Thank you to Dave, VC Ambassador. He was the one that showed me this back at Christmas time. Really great cover, just kind of like ping pong paddles. So really great playing, especially Willem Breuker on the saxophone. Just compared to a lot of his stuff in the 70s and 80s, it's a different sound, and really, really enjoyable. This one was blown away by that record. So those are the records I found this month. Again, pretty light month, but I've kind of switched my mentality, especially after selling close to 200 records back in November, just to really try to focus on buying things that I genuinely want in the collection, and that I'm not just kind of pressuring myself into buying, especially in a store. But probably spending about the same amount of money, because a lot of these records aren't super cheap, but just been, very pleased with what I've been able to find this month. Continuing again, more Peter Brotzman stuff, but I don't know when that's going to end. I know I made a video like 6 months ago talking about the fact I was kind of running out of albums I wanted to find, and just this month found 4 Peter Brotzman albums, so probably not going to end. But so that was the finds for the month of January. If you liked the video, please think about liking and subscribing. In the last month or so, I've gotten a lot of subscribers. I really appreciate the support, the comments, everything like that. Helps me kind of continue to make these videos, but also just shows that people are genuinely interested in the albums that I'm finding. So thank you for all the support, and I'll see you in the next final video. Bye.